Dixie State, Seattle. What can we say? Kind of it was just a fun night. Probably not for Aggie fans, unfortunately. California Baptist 85-75 over New Mexico State. We can call it the first home loss for the Aggies in forever, technically, but it really wasn't because of a different gym. It's hard to explain. I mean, you saw it for yourself. But California Baptist, scored over their average with 85 points. They're averaging 83.5 points coming in. Shot 61.5% in the second half. 4 guys in double figures. Reed Nottage with a game-high 19. Trey Armstrong with 18. Gorjak Gak with 18. And Elijah Thomas with 11. Leading scorer Ty Roel only had 8. So we've talked about this all week. The Lancers can shoot the basketball. Period. If you listen to the podcast episode with play-by-play broadcaster Braden Bell, he talks about it. They're in the top 10 in numerous offensive categories, in the top 25 in the nation in numerous offensive categories. They can score the basketball. Tonight they did that and picked up a huge win over New Mexico State. Excuse me. They're the only team in the WAC to have 2 wins over the Aggies in the last 5 years. Pretty wild times. Okay? Pretty wild times. Remember, last year in Las Cruces, this was a 40-plus point blowout for New Mexico State. How I was talking to one of the Aggie fans tonight. We were texting during the game. And I told him there's a lot of variables in play for the Aggies. Lack of practice, injuries, circumstances changing, being in Phoenix for over 100 days. Just think about that. There's all kind of issues within the New Mexico program. Jabari Rice went down again, this time with his left foot. So we'll see how that impacts him. He actually finished with a team-high 17 points tonight on 7 of 11. Perhaps, and think about this, the game was 64-60 when he went down. So, that was a big loss for the Aggies. Better offensive game from the Aggies, shot 48% from the field. 3-point shooting still an issue, 9 of 24 from deep. Pretty clean game all around between the two teams. Both teams had 15 assists. They combined for just 14 turnovers. It was just the fact that the Lancers just shot it better. And I got to comment, the Aussies don't, which is true. Pretty crazy. Trey Armstrong and Reed Nottage went 7 for 13 from deep. What can you do to stop that? Nottage was 5 of 6 from deep. So, pretty wild times there. I don't think anybody thought that New Mexico State would be 0-3 in WAC play this season. Perhaps maybe there's justification because of all they had to deal with, but they're at the bottom of the standings of the WAC right now. Same 2 teams tomorrow night, high school gym, arena. Brady Bell, I got you, arena. We'll see what happens, see what adjustments are made, but it's kind of it wasn't an offensive struggle. It was a defensive struggle for the Aggies. They couldn't get a stop. It's interesting how different games play out differently. But what we do know is California Baptist can score the basketball. Period. End of story. On the other side of things, I didn't realize Riley Grigsby wasn't playing for Seattle until late. I saw him in sweat one of the timeouts. I'm still waiting on confirmation of what happened. Not sure if it's injury related. They haven't played for 3 weeks, so maybe I don't think he'd be there if he had an illness. So I guess we'll see what that's all about. Darian Trammell, 30 points for the Redhawks. Aaron Nettles with 20. Those are the only guys in double figures. Darian Trammell is a special player for Seattle, kind of like Terrell Brown was, but he doesn't have a lot. Even if Riley Grigsby's in the game, Riley Griggs probably takes those points away from Aaron Nellis because Riley Grigsby averages nearly 20 points a game. So was a special player. I watched him in Utah Valley, went up to Seattle. We were there, me and Tyler Creer. He's quick. He's agile, can shoot it, can get to the rim. I mean, a buzzer beating three-pointer tonight, to end the game. Fortunately for Dixie State, gosh, excuse me. Frank Stain hit 2 free throws, make it a 4-point lead, so the three-pointer didn't really matter. But Dixie State overcame a 12-point deficit at half. And they just – I shouldn't say a 12-point deficit. It was a 12-point deficit at one point in the second half. But good win for Dixie State, especially considering that Cameron Gooden didn't have his best offensive game. But there were 5 Trailblazers in double figures. Jared Green, 16 points, led team high. Frank Stain had 11. Both Isaiah Pope and Hunter Schofield had 10. And Jacob Nichols had 12. Hopefully he on the last possession, Seattle possession, he pulled down the rebound and he got hurt. Somehow, I don't know what it was, but he walked off it. He was actually supposed to shoot the free throws that Frank Stain hit. Either way, I think both of them would have hit both. So they would have sealed the deal there. Good win for Dixie State. They second straight back win. They won 79-75 over California Baptist last Saturday. I mean, look at the standings. This is wild. I mean, Grand Canyon 6-0. Unfortunately, I'm still mad that they had a COVID positive because I would be sitting in Bird Ogden Arena right now, or possibly back at my hotel in 75-degree weather. After that game against Grand Canyon UTRGV, but obviously that's weekend. UTRGV is kind of having a rough time playing WAC games. As they're 2-0. Utah Valley's 4-1. They're off this week because they're supposed to play Chicago State, who suspended its season. We all know it goes. California Baptist now 4-3. Dixie State at 2-5. Tarleton 1-5. Then you got Seattle and New Mexico State at the bottom. Who would have thought? Honestly. Still a lot of basketball to be played. We'll see how COVID plays out. Shoot me your questions right now. Be on for a little bit longer. Just testing out this little post-game stuff. I like doing it. I like now I can't find any. There it is. Let's see. To answer Sports Guy's question, I don't want to say they've shocked me because John Judkins knows how. I mean, you see the success that they had in the Pac West and the RMAC before they got to the WAC. I mean, they know how to win. Plus, they have like an 84% winning percentage at Burns Arena. So it doesn't really surprise me what Dixie State is able to do right now. Plus, the ball games. I mean, they almost beat UTRGV on Saturday night when they're in that WAC series. They had the lead late and they kind of let it slip away. John Judkins talked to me about it 2 weeks ago before they played GCU about how they just have to finish games and how they're just they got to compete, and they haven't, and it's shown in the ability to finish these games. Let's see. At _Monty. Let's see. Am I supposed to take this Dixieland State win over Seattle seriously, or just talk it up to COVID? Take it seriously. Take it seriously. Here's why. Dixie State's very good at home. Okay, they don't really lose at the Burns Arena. We can chalk GCU thing up to Friday night. Dixie State threw everything at the low, nearly came out with the win, and Saturday just ran out of gas. That's why it was a blowout. But Dixie State's pretty good. They're solid. They've beaten CBU, who just beat New Mexico State. So what does that say? I guess that's a bad comparison. But anyways, Dixie's for real. They're going to keep playing well. They'll win games. I don't know if they're going to finish at the top of the WAC, but they're a really good basketball team. They're tough. They're physical. And John Judkins is a very, very good coach. Simple as that. Let's see. Somebody asked, why is Mine Kieran not playing? He's still dealing with back issues. That's all I've been told, dealing with back issues. They can't really put him on the floor. Hopefully that gets resolved soon, but it's, right now it's kind of a frustrating time because he was one of the guys that the Aggies were going to rely on this year. J.A. Sandoval, will the Aggies ever win again? Guys, I know that it's tough to watch the defending champs start 0-3 in WAC play, but let's face it, okay? First off, they weren't able to put in any full practices prior to the season starting. Second, they didn't know where they could practice because the governor shut down everything, right? In a bubble, away from everything. I guess it's technically a bubble, but they were still around, in a resort. They didn't know when they were going to play, didn't know where they were going to play, didn't know who they were going to play. And they had COVID positives, which put them on pause during that time. So, there's all kinds of things going on. Last week, they finally were able to play some games. They struggled offensively. Defensively, they were okay. But, they're playing a team that had played, 13 games up to that point and was kind of rolling. So it was to be expected. This week, California Baptist can score points, period. Don't shy away from giving credit to where credit's due. CBU shot the lights out tonight again. New Mexico State, they hit shots. They had offense. Ramp up the defense a little bit tomorrow night. They'll be fine. I think they'll win tomorrow night, to be honest with you. So I'm going to go out there and say that. I think they win tomorrow night against California Baptist. They split the series. They don't want to get too far behind the 8 ball. Let's see what other questions we have here. And Dom, I want to say we all take the virus seriously. My tweets about fans or whatever, in my podcast episode today, it's not about not taking it seriously. I think that everybody takes it seriously. But the institutions, and like I said in the podcast, the institutions, the organizations, so forth, administrations, they have more data than what we see. They have more information. They talk to doctors. They talk to experts. They talk to this. So we don't see what happens behind closed doors. But I don't think that means that they're not taking it seriously. I think they absolutely are. And, it's to them to make those decisions. So I think everybody takes it seriously very much. That's why there's so much testing that goes on. That's why there's teams that go on pause and so forth. So I just wanted to make that clear, and I said that in the podcast episode today too as well. So anybody else have any questions, shoot me them. I'm going to get off here in just a minute. But just a fun night of WAC hoops. Good to see Dixie State pick up its second win. Seattle coming off a 3-week pause. A little bit of rust there. Not playing with your best, playing without your, I don't want to say best player, maybe another one of your top players, because Darian Trammell and Grigsby, they kind of go together. They're two of the best on that team. Well, they are the best on that team. And you have 20, who, maybe he gets his 20 points tonight. Aaron Nettles has 12. Seattle wins the game easily. So who knows tomorrow night? We'll see. The last time Seattle lost a game like this, a 1-point game, the next day they didn't play. So we'll see what adjustments they make. Anyways, thanks for listening, everybody. Going to do this tomorrow night. We'll do a pregame one as well. I'll be here. My wife wanted to go to dinner tonight. We had some shopping, so but thanks for following. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your questions. Shoot me questions whenever you have them on Twitter. I'll answer them in a podcast or even on this live streams, prior to games. and after games. So again, thanks for listening and have a great night, everybody.